Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Monday evening, August 19, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak of Atlantic hurricane season, that's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your coworkers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below letting me know that has been liking you recently. Also, feel free to ask any other related questions that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so let us take a look at this post that was made here on our Twitter page today. Keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica, but on our Instagram page at weather.jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss, posts that are not made here on our YouTube page. So we highlighted the fact that today is the anniversary of Major Hurricane Dean. So it states here, today in hurricane history, 17 years ago on August 19, 2007, Hurricane Dean roared past Jamaica's south coast as a Category 4 with extreme winds and torrential rainfall, causing 4 fatalities and resulting in $300 million in damages in Jamaica. Do you remember this hurricane? And we saw exactly what that hurricane did. It definitely went past Jamaica's south coast while even intensifying even more, even though there was a section where it was a Category 5 before it came past to the south of Jamaica, and then downgraded back to a Category 4 right there. And we definitely got rated by the bad weather associated with that system. We can see it right here. The dark blues represent tropical depression status, the light blues represent tropical storm status, the yellows represent Category 1 hurricane status, the more so yellow colors represent Category 2, the orange colors Category 3, the red colors Category 4, the purple Category 5, and it definitely maintained that Category 4 status while it passed to the south of Jamaica. Then it re-strengthened back to Category 5 before it slammed into the Yucatan Peninsula. And I'm sure that that hurricane is very much memorable for those people who were affected by that system in that area, considering that it was a high-end hurricane, a Category 5 hurricane at that. And we definitely have some comments coming in here on our threads page. We had K_Alex_Clark stating, yes, it will be something I will never forget. It destroyed my home. My mother had to start over from scratch. Even on our Facebook page, we had the comments coming in right here. Shari Benjamin stating, oh yes, caused an election to be rescheduled. Even on our Instagram page, we had comments coming in. Dr. C_Johnson stating, yup, she remembers that one. And Legister._ stating, similar path like Beryl, history repeating itself. Hopefully we don't get any more hurricanes in our generation or in our kids' generation like those Beryl or Dean at all. We'll take the rainfall, to keep water in our pipes and in our rivers, but nothing with all of these very strong winds. These hurricanes can stay where they're at. If we take a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook that just came out at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 6:30 p.m. Jamaica time, we can see that they have nothing else highlighted apart from Hurricane Ernesto, which is right there off to the east of the northeastern United States. We can see the clouds associated with that system right here, definitely pushing quickly off to the north and the east. Definitely going to be bringing overcast skies and rainfall to portions of far eastern Canada right there as the center passes to the east of there as a hurricane. Right now, it is packing maximum sustained winds of 90 miles per hour and moving towards the northeast at 26 miles per hour. So moving very quickly, and it's expected to decrease in intensity back to a tropical storm by around Tuesday into Wednesday as it heads to the east towards northwestern Europe. Alright, so let's switch gears now and talk about the usual tropical storm and hurricane activity for this time of year. We're now heading into the latter part of August, and to be honest, things have been quiet. We're somewhere here, and usually we have a ramp up of activity as we head into the latter part of August into early September. We can see the maps right here representing tropical storm and hurricane activity that's expected to be on the increase as we head into especially the first 10 days of September. So it's definitely expected. If we take a look right here, this map is showing where we've had tropical storms form from the time period from 1850 to about 2009. This is from August 11 to August 20, by the way. And we see that there are a lot of dots that represent tropical storm formations across especially the main development region right here between Africa and the Caribbean. But considering that tomorrow is the 20th, it's time to look onward. Let's see what the 21st to the 31st of August looks like. And we can see that we definitely have a lot more dots popping up, even some across the Caribbean. So it's just going to be going downhill from there. If something hasn't formed between the previous 10 days that we just finished, something could definitely form between August 21 and August 31. And we see that is going to be very active. Something is going to be forming. Hopefully it's nothing like what we've been experiencing with Beryl or Dean in the past. And we know the typical tracks for August. Definitely across the main development region, pushing from east to west across the Caribbean into the Gulf of Mexico. Hopefully we get more tracks like these, maybe passing to the north of the Eastern Caribbean and curving out to sea. Something similar to what Ernesto did, minus hitting the Leeward Islands and those areas that were affected by that system. And we know one of the main drivers of these systems is the very warm sea surface temperatures. And we've been talking about this. So considering that today is the 19th day of August, this just came out yesterday, and it still shows that we have a lot of very warm sea surface temperatures across the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean, the main development region. And we know this is the spot that most of these systems develop. They come all the way from Africa as tropical waves, then develop into tropical depressions, tropical storms, hurricanes, and push from east to west. Hopefully we get more tracks like this to the north. But we also see that the La Nina is starting to take shape. The La Nina, as we know, is where we have cooler than average sea surface temperatures across the central to the eastern Pacific Ocean. And this in turn causes little to no wind shear across the Atlantic. We know the El Nino, when we have more warmer waters across this area, we have more thunderstorms forming across that spot, causing more upper level winds to tear off the tops of thunderstorms across the Atlantic, thus causing little to no hurricane development. And we're already on track to be having the opposite of that. We've already been getting neutral conditions as early as Beryl, and we're going to be getting even more robust conditions considering that we're heading into a La Nina like pattern. And keep in mind that this is just showing the warm waters at the skin of the ocean, at the surface of the ocean. We see that there's a lot of that associated with the yellows, oranges, reds. But look at this map. This is showing the tropical cyclone heat potential, and this is representing how warm the waters are the deeper into the ocean that we go. And we see that the warmest waters seem to be right here in and around Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, Cuba, where we see these dark reds. So these systems, even after sucking up the warm sea surface temperatures that we just looked at, they're going to be having a lot of very warm waters to work with the deeper into the ocean that they go. So the more they churn up, the more warm waters are going to be, sucked up into these systems, making them even stronger. So we don't want any systems to be stalling out across the Greater Antilles at all near Jamaica, because they're definitely going to be taking advantage of this. And keep in mind that this image just came out today, August 19, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be dwindling anytime soon. If we take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see that tropical wave that was affecting portions of Jamaica is now to the west of the island, affecting portions of Central America. There's actually a weak tropical wave across the eastern Caribbean, now to the west of the Lesser Antilles, affecting portions of Puerto Rico, maybe northern Venezuela. We see another tropical wave right here to the northeast of South America. And we also see another tropical wave right here exiting the coast of Africa. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can see the clouds associated with that tropical wave now affecting portions of Central America, pushing from east to west. So definitely portions of Honduras, Nicaragua gotten on some amount of rainfall today. The other tropical wave that's somewhere in here, we can see that it's lacking thunderstorms. Don't see much in the way for rainfall. Lots of sinking air taking place at this time, but the rising air is definitely across the eastern Pacific, where there are numerous systems that the Hurricane Center is watching. The other tropical wave right here to the northeast of South America. The other tropical wave right here closer to Africa. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean a little later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Monday, August 19, 2024. It was stated that parts of northern and western Jamaica would have received some afternoon rainfall today. I know northern parishes, we're talking about those parishes on top, so Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. While western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall. So Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. And what ended up happening? As early as 2:35 p.m., the infrared satellite image was posted, and it highlighted that we were receiving some thunderstorms. And we know the thunderstorms are represented by the blues, the greens, yellows, oranges, reds. That represents the high cold cloud tops. That's that cumulonimbus cloud. And we saw that especially across some northern parishes. We even had some activity across portions of St. Thomas as well. That's an eastern parish. That wasn't in the prediction, but they got in on that rainfall, and I'm sure that they're grateful for that. And they also experienced some thunderstorm activity out west. We can even see the sparkling white dots that represent some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes, across sections of Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, sections of even northern St. Catherine, northern Clarendon, even portions of Manchester got in on the mix. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before the sun went down, we can definitely see that flow coming in more so from the east-southeast in the lower levels of the atmosphere. We can see the upper level winds being, pushing all of those upper level clouds off towards the south, all those high cold cloud tops to that direction, more so towards the southwest than anything else, just like what the upper level wind forecast was showing yesterday. And we definitely have confirmation from some of our followers about what took place today. Angie stating light rain in Barclay Town, Gail, St. Mary. Even here on our Facebook page where the comments coming in. Monique Ferguson, it's raining in the grill at the moment. Shawnee Reynolds, yep, getting heavy rain in St. Andrew. That's northern St. Andrew, not necessarily southern St. Andrew. Some of you guys might be in St. Andrew wondering, when did it rain today? That's way up in northern St. Andrew where Shawnee lives. Lisa Taylor Saunders stating rain in St. James. And Romelda Princess Taylor confirming the rainfall in her area. And even KYYM Sue stating, or Kim Sue stating, just got some in Mandeville. So some of this rainfall that portion of northern St. Catherine, northern Clarendon got definitely spilled into portions of Manchester as well. But the corporate area didn't get in on much rainfall at all. If we take a look right here, we can see that halfway tree didn't get in on much activity. We can see that it was definitely dry, especially during the afternoon, 3:09 p.m. right here. Yes, at 3:09 p.m. right here. Definitely dry across the halfway tree area. Not much in the way of rainfall today. Most of the activity was being pushed off towards the north. By the way, if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just visit See Jamaica's YouTube channel. They have other live streams like Crossroads, the City View, even the Bagua Gorge, Barbican as well. If we take a look at the accumulated precipitation from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, we can see that we definitely had some rainfall across sections of western Jamaica, northern Jamaica, and even portions of eastern Jamaica. Not much across Portland, but definitely across sections of St. Thomas. So this map does indeed paint quite the picture of where we had the rainfall, even although the rainfall totals are not 100% accurate. And if we take a look at the latest infrared satellite images, we can see what took place. We definitely had the activity push from east to west across the island, especially right there across Hanover. Sections of Westmoreland got in on the mix of the strong thunderstorm activity. And we can see the high cold cloud tops being blown out towards the south, just as predicted. And if we take a look at the latest infrared satellite image that just came out at 25 minutes past the hour, so that's what, 7:25 p.m. We can see that majority of these clouds have definitely cleared out by now. We still have some isolated clouds right there to the northeast of Jamaica, maybe some isolated showers as we speak. And let's match it to the latest Cuban Doppler radar image. We can see the rainfall right there is represented by the greens and the yellows, just to show the equivalence of the satellite image and the Doppler radar image. This cloud is basically representing that rainfall that we're seeing to the northeast of Portland. So it all adds up. Doppler radar images are very important. They show the rainfall as opposed to satellite images that can show cloud cover. And we can have cloud cover of an area and not necessarily rainfall. This is why the Doppler radar images are so good. And we can see the waters to the northeast of Portland definitely getting in on some isolated showers. If persons are out to sea, they're definitely getting some rainfall as we speak. So nothing right now happening across the island as seen on the satellite image and the Doppler radar image. And it makes sense that the latest image or live stream across the Bagua Gorge, Flatbridge, not seeing much happening. Definitely gonna be a fair night right there. If we take a look at the temperatures right now, we can say about 28 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. And by about 4 a.m. on Tuesday, temperature should dip down to about 25 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. Taking a look here at the temperature forecast for 1 p.m. on Tuesday. So this map is from the GFS and it's showing the forecast for 18th on Tuesday, which is actually 1 p.m. And we can see Jamaica right here embedded in some yellows and some slight orange colors. That represents 1 to 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures as seen by the key on the right. So let's say up to 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures. And we know the normal temperatures for the month of August are about the same as July, 91 degrees Fahrenheit. 91 degrees Fahrenheit when calculated to Celsius, it's about the same as 32.7 degrees Celsius. So it should be receiving anywhere from 32 to 34 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Tuesday. And please ensure that you all stay out of the sun during peak hours and you all stay hydrated as much as possible. Fruits, water, just stay hydrated. If we take a look here at the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Tuesday, we can see Jamaica right here getting in on some of the brown colors that represent the Saharan dust. And we can see a lot of that being pushed from east to west, all courtesy of the ridge of high pressure to the north with that easterly flow. Some more Saharan dust definitely in the forecast. We know the Saharan dust can cause hazy skies, not to mention trigger some amount of asthma or sinusitis issues in some persons, respiratory illnesses in general. So please ensure that you have your meds ready, although it's not that vigorous plume, like that dark brown that can cause very hazy skies. It's still some Saharan dust, so the sky might not look as blue as usual. So expect that, and there's a lot more to come as we can see here, stretching all the way from Africa across the main development region into the Caribbean. If we take a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we see that the highest waves should be right there to the far south of Jamaica with the purpose of the 2-meter wave height, while the rest of the basin anywhere from 0.5 meter wave height to 1.5 meter wave height, as represented by the lighter shades of blues to darker shades of blues, as we can see by the key. And that's because the winds, they're going to be averaging anywhere from 5 to 10 up all the way up to 20 knots. We see the blues and the greens across the eastern Caribbean, the western Caribbean, the Gulf of Mexico. While the strongest wind should be to the far south of Jamaica, we see these yellows that represents all the way up to 25 to 30 knot winds. But if we take a closer look at Jamaica and where the winds are being forecasted for the island, we can definitely see that it's going to be more so from the south in a way. Look at this from the GFS. So we see the winds coming in from the east, then curving and northward inland. We also see some winds right there, not so strong on the south. Well, not so strong on the north coast like what we see on the south coast. Definitely stronger on the south coast with the brighter greens all the way up to 20 knot winds. North coast maybe all the way up to 10 to 15 knot wind. And we also see that the air is going to be piling up maybe across northern and western Jamaica again. So maybe a similar pattern to what we had today. Maybe more northern Jamaica getting in on that afternoon rainfall again. So look out for that rainfall if you're in the parish of Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, maybe section of St. Mary again, even sections of Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth getting in on the mix, but more so northern St. Elizabeth. So you guys down in southern and southeastern St. Elizabeth, don't be upset if you don't get in on that rainfall. And with the upper level wind still coming in from the northeast for tomorrow, we're going to be receiving the similar pattern. The high cold clouds being blown off towards the south, just like what we had today, right here. When we had the cumulonimbus clouds, the high cold clouds were being blown off to the south, bringing more overcast skies, maybe even some isolated shorter sections of some southern areas. So let us take a look at the actual rainfall forecast map. So this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing where it's going to be raining at about 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 3 p.m. Jamaica time. And we see that there's going to be some amount of rainfall across northern and western Jamaica. That's according to the GFS. The Euro a bit more robust and widespread, showing the blues across eastern, central, and western Jamaica. I'm more inclined to believe what the GFS is showing. The GFS has been spot on with the rainfall forecast, especially with the low level flow of wind. So it makes sense that all the air is going to be piling up across northern Jamaica and western Jamaica again. So the pattern has not changed at all. Let's see if the Euro can win it this time with eastern, central, and western Jamaica. But I'm more inclined to believe the the northern and western Jamaica forecast. Even the accumulated precipitation forecast maps have, the rainfall in store for the island. GFS a bit more robust than the Euro. GFS showing all the way up to 0.64 of an inch of rainfall, especially across the northwest, St. James, Hanover. Euro showing up to at least 0.26 of an inch of rainfall across the north, maybe sections of maybe St. Mary, St. Anne right there, maybe section of Westmoreland right there. Either way, we'll take it. We're in the month of August. In Kingston, which bar graph is being shown right here, we usually receive almost 100 millimeters of rainfall during this month. That's almost 4 inches of rainfall. In Montego Bay, we usually receive almost 125 millimeters of rainfall during this month. That's almost 5 inches of rainfall. And you can visit weatherandclimate.com to find out about your specific parish and the annual rainfall throughout the year. And you can also use this map if you don't know how to use the calculations. It actually does the calculation for you. Rainfall from inches to millimeters on the rain gauge. Alright, so that is it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So we can see that we still have the stalled out front and trough across section of Florida, the Bahamas. Portions of Cuba definitely got in on some thunderstorms today. Sections of the Yucatan Peninsula and Central America got on some thunderstorms associated with the tropical wave. Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua. Usual thunderstorms for sections of Costa Rica, Panama, sections of Colombia, southern sections of Venezuela getting in the mix. Not much in the way of rainfall across the northeastern and eastern Caribbean. But I'm sure that if we take a closer look at the Doppler radar images, we're going to be seeing some rainfall over there. If we take a look at the latest Doppler radar images, we do see some spots of greens here and there that represent some light to moderate rainfall. Some of it right there off to the south and the east of Puerto Rico. If we take a look at the images from earlier today, we can see that even portions of central, northern, and western Puerto Rico definitely got in on some rainfall today, most of which was being pushed from east to west across the island by the ridge of high pressure to the north. Not much heavy rainfall at all. If we take a look at the rest of the areas, we can see that it was more so hit or miss showers passing by. But as of the latest, we do see some isolated sprinkles coming into portions of Guadeloupe, Dominica, maybe even some of it heading into portions of Antigua and Barbuda later on tonight. If we take a look at the Barbados radar, we can see that flow from the northeast. Some of this isolated shower coming in fast could affect sections of eastern Barbados later on tonight. We can also see some rainfall to the east of Dominica, east of Martinique. Some of the isolated shower could definitely make it there. Sections of the Grenadines and Grenada might get on some of the action. But Tobago is already getting on some rainfall as we speak. Some of this might make it into Trinidad later on. If we take a look at the weather via Doppler radar images, we can see that rainfall associated with the trough, that portion of the Bahamas, section of Cuba, southern Florida got in on today, still getting on some of the activity as we speak. You can also see that rainfall associated with the tropical wave, that portion of Honduras, Guatemala, section of the Yucatan Peninsula is already experiencing. And that's related to where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours. We're looking at the Euro model and the GFS model and what it's showing right here from now up until 10 p.m. on Tuesday. And we do see that the most in the way of rainfall should be where we have these yellows and reds. We see the consensus for more of that across especially Central America. So the Yucatan Peninsula, Belize, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, section of southern and western Venezuela. And we see that the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with that. And we also see some rainfall in store for sections of Florida, the northern Bahamas, Cuba, Haiti, sections of the Eastern Caribbean too, but more so some isolated shores with these greens. And we see it definitely in store for sections of Puerto Rico, maybe section of the Leeward Islands is what the Euro is showing, not so much the GFS. GFS showing more of it across maybe Guadeloupe, southward Dominica, sections of the waters to the north of Trinidad and Tobago. And we're not even seeing much for northeastern South America at all. So Guyana, Suriname, and French Guiana should be in the clear for the most part. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this forecast. I know that when they're in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.